Well, good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good summer so far. There's going to be three modules I will talk about in this month's webinar. We're going to talk about the account ledger module. I'll talk about the bank reconciliation module, and then also the journal entry module. These are the three modules we'll touch with. One thing I want to point out so that way I don't miss it, is very important, is that in order to use the journal entry module, the account ledger module needs to be also be enabled as well. Um, and then with that being said, if you guys are interested in the bank recon or the journal entry and they're not available currently for they're still disabled, just reach out to your office representative. We can get those enabled for you and get you scheduled for a walkthrough where you're more than welcome to reference the this webinar whenever they're enabled for you guys. The first thing we'll go over will be the account ledger, because that will really drive, like I said, journal entries. Doesn't really play too much of bank recon, but it's important to just kind of get your account ledger squared away first. Going into the account ledger module, the first thing you'll see is the account structures tab that'll open up by default. And then showing will be all the account structures. I know most of you guys won't have more than a couple different account structures, if more than one at all. But here shows that you can have more than one account structure. And also you can see the active status of it. It is important to know that you can only have one active status at a time. So if you have more than one account structure, it is important to know you can only activate one at a time. So everybody's account structure has pretty much already been configured through your ERP. So it's just a matter of really just adding it to add an account structure. You can add account structure. You can structure it any name that you like. And then we have these segments here, and you can add as many segments as your accounts have. And it has the different segment names that you can choose from, the start date, length, and description. Like I said, you guys have already have your account structures from your ERP, but to set them up, you select whatever segment name that corresponds with you have, what it starts with, the amount of characters that it has, and also if you want to put any kind of special description for the segment, and then so forth, all the way through. You end up with something like this. I'll show you for an example. One that we kind of did right here. Got fund, physical, program, function, object, location, cost center, modifier. I'm going to start with these numbers here. It's going to be these characters long. And also I got a description right here as well. A lot of people will match them up to see exactly what the segment name is, but you can put anything you like in the description to describe it. So once you got your account structure set up how it needs to be, characters match, formatting is good, because if it does not match up correctly or format is wrong, it is not acceptable. It will give you a validation of saying, please, redo it again. So once you confirm that it matches up with you guys what you already have, please make sure that the one that you want to use is active. You can see this one's already active. If I want to deactivate it, I can deactivate it. If you want it to, yes, it shows it. Activate. Easy as that. Really, account structure is really straightforward. It's very simple to pretty much match what you guys are already using into here. Make sure one is activated. Make sure it's the name that you guys want it so you guys can easily clarify what it is. Then it allows us to move down to account numbers. So account numbers is based off the structure you guys created. So in order to upload, if you guys want to import account numbers, it is important that your structure matches what you're importing. If it does not match, it will give you an error. So make sure that the structure that we have activated, which is currently this PC Genesis one, so it is looking for this account structure right here because it's active. So whether you add it, it's going to allow you to choose which one you can add, either account test or PC Genesis. It'll show the account structure here. You can type in whatever it needs to be. It'll limit your characters and stop at the account structure. We can make this account number active or inactive. And then right here is used in modules. Very important to know that this account number is going for PC Genesis. You want it active, and it's going to be active in all these modules here. If you do not check these modules here, it means that account number will not sync up to those modules. So very important. If you're not seeing an account number and you're in a module and say this account number should be here, go reference this page right here. You can see all your account numbers. You can easily search if you need to, but I want to view this one. I need to edit it. It's like, oh, that's why I don't see it in Bank Recon, because it's not available. I'll check it, click save, and it'll now show up in Bank Recon. So Very important on that. We also have, you can download all these as well if you wanted to check them, make any kind of, changes. You can also import and add. And like I said, you can also search accounts. Now I'm going kind of quick over this. So you guys, please stop me if you guys have any questions or anything. We'll do a Q&A at the end for any, overall questions or anything. But I know Account Ledger has been out for a little bit. It's kind of more straightforward. You create your account structure. Once you have your account structure, you create your account numbers, you assign a module to them, and also a status. And then once we have all that, it allows us to take to user management, which just got a good overhaul maybe about a month or so ago. I'll walk through this now. So now that you guys have your account structure, you have your account numbers assigned, you have everything that needs to be active is active, you have everything what needs to be assigned to a module is assigned to a module. So now this takes it one step further. Think of these almost like filters pretty much. You take it one step further, and now user management allows you to assign, make sure users only use certain account numbers. You only want them to have access to. So account numbers will show up in any module you have them signed to. And for example, this one shows Brittany. She has two account numbers that she can only see. So whatever module Brittany's using that has this account number, attached to that module, Brittany is when she's logging as herself can only see these two account numbers. It's how this filter will work down. You can always add more. You can always take away. That's the function of this right here. If you wanted to remove, simple as clicking remove. If you want to add, simple as clicking add. Boom. It automatically pulls up Brittany's name, shows the two account numbers that she's assigned. If I click this unassigned filter right here, these are the three account numbers that we have created in this demo here that we can assign to Brittany or assign it to many people. If I want to click in with Aaron and Adam, say, hey, they need to have these as well. We can add these back in here. And so now that Brittany, Aaron, and Adam will have these are three account numbers right here. It's as simple as clicking assign account numbers. Yes, you are assigning three accounts to three users. Yes, awesome. Now it shows Aaron, Adam, and Brittany. Now I have those three that I assigned, and Brittany's got those three plus the two she had already existing. So it's more of a filter down. So these users will only see these account numbers. If you do not have anybody here, like the countless other employees that's on this demo, they are able to see any account number that is synced in with that module. So if you're only wanting them to see a certain amount, certain account numbers in those modules, this is where you'll go in and filter down for these employee specifics. You can import and export assignments. So if you want doing this by bulk, you're more than welcome to as far as assign multiple section by employees. So you want to see I want all central office employees. They need to be admins. That shows them all right here. I can check all employees. I want them to all to have this account number. So I know that all my central employees that are admins are going to have this account number assigned, or you want them to have all account numbers. It's very flexible how you want to do it and how you want to filter it here. So you choose your employee here on the left side, as many as you want, as far as by central office, by location, by departments, job titles, whether they're active or they've been terminated, or wherever the case may be. You can also see if these employees are terminated, make sure they're not assigning account numbers. You can unassign them if you like. So, like I said, I know I'm going through this kind of fast, but there is multiple filters here. I encourage you guys to kind of play around with this, look to see exactly how you guys want to filter your employees, or you may not want to filter employees at all. But I just encourage you guys to look through the filters, play with it as far as seeing exactly who needs to be assigned what, be able to see all your account numbers. You also be able to search account numbers as well. And that way you guys can filter exactly which account number needs assigned. You can also, if you want to see all account numbers that have the 27, so simple as clicking the filter and select by role, not select by role, excuse me. I don't this why they don't have any. Need to get out of here. Oh, that's because all my account numbers have been assigned. That's why. There we go. But I just want to see all account numbers that start with the year 25. There we go. Boom. And it will show you guys there. Awesome. And then just because a account number is already assigned to employee, like it's already assigned with Brittany and Aaron and Adam, you can still keep assigning these account numbers. So it's going to show up in the assigned filter status. Clear all. And I want to just want to show you guys. You can still assign. Well, Brittany's already assigned to them. There they are. Boom. Yeah, very straightforward, very easy. Let's just kind of show you guys the export function real quick. Nope. Um, I need to select employees. How do you do it this way? That should be not selected. There we go. So this right here will pull up the employee ID number. So we have chose Brittany. That's why it's pulling up Brittany's employee ID number. The account numbers associated with Brittany. So these are the account numbers that Brittany has. And this allows you to add or remove them. So we're able to go in here, type in remove, click save. We'll save this. Now we can import a file. Next, shows your employee you're doing it for, the account number you have it for, and then whether you're adding or removing. Click next, confirm. You're adding 4, removing 1. None of them have been skipped. Click import. Now, if we go back, Brittany only has the 4. So that is the account ledger. As a whole, you set up your account structures. You have your account numbers that you guys import in. You can go in one by one, assign it to what account structure needs to be, assign what modules needs to be, assign them to if active or inactive. And also you can go one step further and filter into your exact users who need to see exactly only these accounts. The next we'll go into is Bank Recon. Be the first one we'll go into. Excuse me. The purpose of Bank Recon module is to document, calculate, route, and approve, and store monthly bank reconciliations in YaST. It acts as a structured recon worksheet with attachments, checklists, items, notes, and workflow approval. So this is another routing module that you'll set up your settings, your organization routing as far as who needs to be approval. You run reports with it. You see pending and historical as far as graphs go. So it's just another approval routing module for your bank recons. What this module will do is it creates a structured bank recon request in YaST. It allows users to configure bank accounts, reconciliation months and year. It captures bank balances, deposits in transit, outstanding checks or ACH wire adjustments, book balances and variants. Performs the math automatically as you type in, expects the variance to be solved moving forward. So we'll go over that once we look at the form. It's not going to allow you to proceed unless your variance is, identical or down to 0. Can you say that? So it does everything in real time as far as making sure that everything is lined up before you're able to submit it for approval for it to be logged into YaST. So it requires supporting documentation. Almost all of this will require documentation that you'll upload. That way it goes with the transaction you put it in. Provides a configurable checklist. We'll go over that in settings as well. I know different modules have the checklist. If you guys, as it's going through approval, you can check has different statuses been done already. And then it routes through the approval workflow, and then it stores in YaST for different reports and audits later on. So starting off, once you click into the Bank Recon module, you'll start in the dashboard. It's going to show you pending and also historical. Pending, just like the rest of the modules, you're able to go in here, you'll be able to review exactly what the form says. You're able to look at the file. You can see the audit trail, see who it's pending with. It's pending with Samantha. You can also download the form as well, and it'll show up as a PDF. Very straightforward, not much to explain here. The same thing with historical. You're able to view, see the information that is on here. You're able to download it, see the audit trail that it's went to. we'll start in settings. The most important thing in settings is getting all this set up. So to get this set up is you'll enter your bank name, the account name, and then whether it is a checking or savings. And let me actually back up another step or so. Both bank reconciliation and journal entries were very new modules. They were intended for a specific purpose, but not the only purpose. And what I mean by that is if you guys are using this and say, hey, I really would like for this to have this, or it needs that, or it's missing this, or I don't really need this in here, please let us know. We're going here. This is very flexible. We kind of set it up this certain way based off of the request of it. But it is very flexible and it can be kind of tweaked in you guys' favor. That way it helps you guys, especially with the ERPs that y'all use. But you would add your bank name here. For example, we have our main bank, our second bank, our third bank. It can be whatever your bank name is. Your account structure, we have just different wording in here. It can be your actual account name, not your account structure, excuse me, your account name. You're typing your account name here. So I will just use middle school. Let's put that in the middle school bank. Account name is going to be middle school. And then account type is going to be a checking or a savings. Click add. And there you go as well. If you need to deactivate these, if you need to edit these, it's as simple as clicking the action button, going in here, changing names, clicking close, or as simple as clicking this and clicking deactivate. You'll deactivate them so they're no longer active. You're no longer seeing these names in here. They're no longer needed. Important to know, so once you create these bank names, we'll show you in the form where exactly where they go, but you go in, create all your bank names, create all your account names, and create all your account types. Then we move down the list right here. So this is the checklist items I was talking about. As it's going through the approval flow. Some districts will want the actual checklist items. You go in and say, hey, once you submit this, and you need to check this off. It goes to the next person. He checks the next item off, and then so forth and so forth. This is where you're going here. So we simply add it. That's check. Shows up deactivate or inactive. Simple as click and activate. Shows inactive. You can also click and drag. So I need this one to be my very first one. My bank statements to be next. Check report, and then last step. And also go in here and retype the name if you need to. Change anything. Deactivate it. Move the steps. Add more. But these would be the steps I'll show you guys in the form where they live at. Next would be the tracking number setting. This is the initial tracking number. Most of you guys have already been using this in your ERP. So if you guys want to match the tracking number with what's in YAS, so where you start at 1, it can be 100, it can be whatever the number needs to be at. But this is where you enter your tracking number that shows up on the form. Down here is going to be your 4 names. Currently, there is only one form. It's the Bank Recon V1. That is the only form. As this module develops, as this module gets more requests in for changes, and you guys will be able to see more of them. If you guys would like, you can have it be shown down here. For now, you can only have the same form, but you can change the label name. I already went in here and put high school and middle school, but it's as simple as if you want another label name, clicking add bank name, clicking this link, use bank reconciliation request, enter your label. Click and save. And now it shows the one that I created. So when you create these are going to be the different form types for the different organizational routing. So that is going to be all the settings. We'll jump into organization. That's going to jump us here. Here you'll see these are the 3 different form names that I've created. They're all using the exact same form, but the labels are different. So if you can have one routing that's strictly for high school, middle senior, however you want your approval routing to go, varies totally on you. But for high school, I don't have anybody assigned. I do have assigned. I have these employees assigned at the high school. At the middle school, I believe I don't have anybody assigned to the middle school. Yep, I don't have anybody assigned to the middle school, but it's just like your normal organization. You search for an employee, or you can find the employee through here, through the list. Click add role. Yes, I want this for the middle school. He's my bookkeeper. He's my bookkeeper. And boom, it shows up there. So that's the organization. Very straightforward, like it is in everywhere. Lastly, be the reports I'll touch on. So reports, You'll have a start date and an end date of when this report was ran. So you'll have a date on there. I'll show you on the form, and that is what they're going to run this report by. I've already had this report ran, so I'll show you guys real quick. This is what it's going to show when you run this report. It's going to show your tracking number, your physical year, originated by, date submitted, bank account, month, year, location, and current inbox user. Like I said, very flexible. If you guys are using this, running this, and say, hey, I need to show more, I need to show this specifically, or this needs to change, please let us know by using the new feature request. That way we can get everything changed. So that way it is configured for you guys, so you guys can start, getting this some use out of it. So it's going to be report series as simple as, like I said, adding a date, clicking this and clicking run report, and then it shows up in your downloads. All right, so let's go into a form now so we can actually talk about the stuff in settings. Let's use this one, Samantha. Actually, no, let's go into an actual new form with her so we can see all the options. Shows up just like normal approve writing for the employees. You have the view historical and then review and approve request here. So, first things first, when they see it, if they have access to it, they'll be able to see middle, high school, middle, senior high school. They can choose the form label name they need to be using, physical year, 27, 28, 29, all the way to 32. The locations for this demo is central office and maintenance facility. So you use central office, automatically assign me a tracking number. You can also go in here and change the tracking number back in the settings like I showed you guys. This needs to show a certain number, but if not, so far there've been 6 creators, so that way it shows 6. But here's the bank name. Clicking this will show all the bank names that I've created. So here's that main bank, second, third, and the middle school bank that I've created. As you choose these selections will be varied. So if you have the same, so if we have 2 middle school banks, if you have 2 middle school banks and 2 account names, it's going to show all account names for the middle school bank. So you guys can have more than one. I didn't show that in settings, but you guys can have more than one. It'll allow you to choose, and as it filters down, it's going to show that, okay, my middle school bank, my middle school account name has the account type checking. What does this need to be for? This is what the report will run off of. Okay, this needs to be for March of 29 or even 27, more realistic. This is a report we'll run off of. We'll run off this date. The bank ending balance, we can go in here, type in your bank ending balance. Deposits in transit. You can also write this box right here is more like a description. So this is going to describe what this deposit and balance is, deposits in transit is. Same thing with adjustments. If you got any kind of adjustments in here, like we got fees, the fees be whatever it needs to be. Outstanding checks. So these are checks that are still outstanding that have not posted yet. So you got $2,500 in fees. We can also add more. So this plus and minus button right here allows you to add more deposits in transit. So if you got specific ones like all sports and events for a winner and so forth and so forth, you see how it is. Adding everything up, has your fees. Once you guys have configured all your bank reconciliation stuff, it's going to give you a total variance up here or total computer balance, which means it's added all these numbers up here that you've entered to 20 to 15 to 8,500 to 2,500 to 500. That comes out to you 41 and $500. So you'll look into your already bank recon that you're already using in your ERP and you do a comparison. So yes, I'm looking at here. This is indeed 4,100, or no, I'm only looking at 39,500. That's going to show you a variance. Hey, you're off by 2 grand somewhere in your books. You need to go back and review and see why you're off 2 grand. All right. I'm going to go over a couple things real quick. Yep. All right. So give me more description of some of these fields here. So your bank ending balance is going to be the balance from your bank statements, the deposits, transits, or just put deposits recorded in the books but not reflected completely in your bank yet. We have your outstanding checks. It's going to be your checks, your ACH items, or wires that have not cleared yet. You may enter your totals or line or totals in the line. And if you need to use more, you could use more. So it can be completely, if you want to use all of it for one line, or you want to break it up and more specifically, like I said, we have that option to add more and then also taking them away. You have your adjustments. So it's your adjustments needed to resolve the variance. So it's whatever adjustments that we need to add in here for the discrepancy. Then we have the actual, excuse me, that's adjustments. Adjustments is the adjustments that we need to add in here. The variance is going to show the difference between your computer book balance and your journal ledger balance. And this math happens real time. If I change this to 1,000, it's going to show in real time as far as when you enter it. Go down here. We have your notes, so you can enter for your notes. Upload documents is going to be required to upload your documents that you guys have. Anything that needs to be uploaded as far as invoices, pictures, bank statements, anything that needs to be added in here for documentation. This is where you upload it here. Here's that checklist item that I was telling you guys about. As it's going through the approval routing, if you guys want checklist items, you'll check them as you go, as who needs to be checking what. And as simple as send it down to the next approval. So overall, that is the current form, how the bank form works. Like I said, if stuff is needed to be added, adjusted, tweak, please play with it. Let us know, and we won't have to get this adjusted for you. So once this is submitted, it goes to the next approval, and so forth and so forth until it is completely approved, like we saw in the historical request right here. So let's move on to journal entries. Like I said, in order to use journal entries, because it does use account numbers, it is very, very important that account ledger is activated and enabled for you guys. If it is not, journal entries will not work correctly, and you'll have lots of issues. So very similar like Bank Recon as far as how the dashboard looks. You have your pending, your historical, organization, setting, and reports. And I'll go over that in just a second. The purpose of the journal entries module is to create, document, approve, store, and export journal entries from YAS. It provides a centralized record with attachments, notes, workflow history, and an export report option. It creates your journal entry inside of YAS. It captures your physical year, location, reasons, your account lines, your debit and credit amounts, posting dates, notes, attachments. We'll go all that in the form. We'll review that as well. And it validates debit and credit totals in real time. So you have your debit amount and your credit amount, and it'll look at the difference between the two. Those will have to be the same before it can move forward. It routes the request to the approval workflow that we'll go over how to set up. It's very similar to how all the approval routing modules work. It stores the final request and documents for future reference. It provides a report that can be used as well. Very important distinction that I just wanted to go over. YAS does not replace your ERP accounting rules. It just helps prepares, routes, documents, and export the journal entry. Your ERP remains the same as far as the fact that it accepts and posts the journal entry. That YAS does not do that you guys' system will. So let's go over the settings real quick. So not as much settings as the Bank Recon. So you have just your initial tracking number right here. If it needs to start at a certain number, this is where it'll start at. This is going to be your label. Only one current form name for the journal entries. Same thing as far as labels go. You can edit the label. You can add a label here as well. And this is where it's going to show up for organization. So very forward. That's the only two settings currently for journal entries. We'll go organization real quick. So right now we have two label names. These are where these two labels are going to show up. We have our test label. You have a middle school label where you'll set your organization routing up. Here's the reports tab. A little bit more specific than the Bank Recon because of the two different ERPs that we currently are exporting to. We have the PCG and the Smart Fusion, and also a YAS detail report. We'll go over those right real quick. So this is going to be the detailed journal entry. So it's going to have the columns of date, the tracking number, your location, who was originated by, your journal entry number, physical year, your reason, your account numbers, your debit and credit amount for that, workflow comments, and then in the finance section, you'll be able to assign a journal entry number. We'll go over that in a second. The data is posted, posting reference, finance notes, and then also the status. For the Smart Fusion, it's going to export your account number, your description, your amount, your date, your type. Like I said, if things need to be changed and adjusted, if you guys use Smart Fusion, please reach out to us, let us know how that needs to be exported. And we can adjust this Excel. That way everything flows in and routes correctly. And then lastly, it's going to be the PCG one. Looks very different from the rest of the two. This is how the PCG one works. You have your vendor number up here, your transaction month, date, and year, journal entry, physical year, the reason right here. And then as it has more forms, this will get longer and longer. For example, this is only going to show two different forms. It's going to have, these are the account numbers, the debit and credit amounts, bank names, source, comments. So this be allow you guys to import and export. So these, and then once you run a report, shows you who run it, when they run it, what report they ran, and also you could download it. So let's go into a new form. There's that tracking number. The journal entry number is blank here. For finance use only, this is where the journal entry number would be inputted. It needs to be 10, whatever it needs to be that you guys are tracking currently. Once this updates, once you submit it, this will update the journal entry number itself. Has your physical year button here that you'll choose your physical year, originated by, your location, today's date. Reason for request, that would be for that reason box, both on the ERP and Smart Fusion and detailed all have, your reason for request. So this will show here what the reasoning is. I would be careful depending on how many characters that your current ERP uses. Sometimes they could be a limited amount of characters. Down here is going to be the account number. So this is why it's important that the account ledger is synced up and activated and routed correctly, because these are going to be the account numbers that are available for journal entries. That way you could reconcile, you can check the debit and credit amount. So account number has a credit of, let's say, 52,000. This account number is for 25,000. It's going to show my difference here of 52 and 25. Also add as many accounts as you like. So say these two right here, it's going to be my missing difference. So this is going to be 10,000, 10,000, and what's that, 7? Yeah, 7. So need to debit this much out of this account, and we need to credit this much into these accounts. How essentially it works. And like I said, this can be, you can also add another one and say, okay, now, this, let's say we have more account numbers. Okay, we need to actually, put money into this account, $500. and it needs to come out of this account. So it allows you to kind of go in and configure your journal entries. Workflow comments. It's important to know the difference between your request for a reason, your workflow comments, and your posting reference and your notes. Because the reason for request is going to be what shows on your actual report. Your posting reference. What's that? Posting reference. Yeah. Posting reference is going to be the reference for fields for additional clarification and notes. So that's going to be strictly more on the form. The actual notes section is going to be internal financing notes, which is what's going to show up on your audit trail, not your audit trail, your comment trail. It's going to stay more inside of Yoast. Same thing with your posting reference. It's just more of, this is more directly towards the form. This is more of like internal notes if you need to reference something as it's being submitted through the workflow. So, hey, make sure blah, blah, blah is right or whatever it needs to be at. This is going to be reflect more of what actually is the form describing or doing or anything like that. Workflow comments will kind of describe this as well. This is more for finance if they have anything they want to reference on here as well. And then internal notes is for more towards their approval. And then your request for reason is what's going to show up when you export. Kind of go from end to end flow. So your Opal journal entry, you confirm or add your journal entry number, select your physical year. You enter a concise reason for request. You add each account line impacted by the entry. You enter a debit and a credit amount. Pretty much say, hey, this account number, I'm taking 5,200 out of here, and I'm crediting it into these numbers. Enter a posting date, add a posting reference and notes. You upload your images. You submit it through workflow. After it's been approved, then you're able to run your export of your reports that you need to have on here. You're allowed to export into your ERP system that you use, and then you're always able to access these. You also be able to access these inside of Yoast. Awesome. Well, I really appreciate everybody's time. If you guys have anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to any of us here. We're here to help. And you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you. Bye-bye.